so what we're doing is we're gonna do programming of this used computer, onto this car. This is the original. Put that on the side. Okay, and hit OK. Let's do diagnosis first. Auto scan. So it's going to go through and read all the computers. See how it's doing it. And there's the percentage. 100% means it's done reading all of them. Now scroll it down. Actually, let's look at report. Hit report and scroll up. And let's see. Okay, so what's that say? Okay, so the computer looks like it's in a lock mode. Okay, so lock mode because it's a different computer. That's what we're gonna try and get rid of that. Hit escape. See what's in special functions. Scroll up. VIN registration. Let's try that. Okay. That is the incorrect one. Let me get you the correct one. $9741. Okay, now let's hit enter. Okay. Okay, so I want you to write it for a second time, so do the same thing. You can actually pick that one. 741, that one. Hit OK. That's incorrect. Okay, so we've got to do it in a different order first. Hit escape. Yes, okay. Escape. Let's see. Go to let's try that. Okay, so let's go with the first option. Replace with a used part. Right there. Off. So hit that button one time to turn those lights off. Yep. Okay. Hit that triangle button up there. Okay, hit next. Okay guys, so clearly, like you saw with the scanner, we were unsuccessful. So apparently between 13 and 14 on the Nissans, anything after that, you can't do it with any of the scanners. And you're gonna have to open it up and do some Eeprom work to try to get this to work. So I think that's the next step that we're gonna try and see if we can get Eeprom information switched over to see if this car will start. Okay, so we finally got a good read. I'll put up a picture of a corrupted read. And corrupted read we got when we were trying to read it in circuit. So right away we noticed that we were most likely going to have to take it off of the board, the Eeprom, and read it basically standalone. So down here you'll see the VIN number of this used computer. That's what we're going to concentrate on. And just to get you a shot, This is where the chip would be placed. So right now we've got it in the programmer. One thing I guess to make a tip, this chip is the chip's number, it's an S25A32, I think. You can pull it up under an ST95320. What number? So we're gonna try to write it after changing the VIN and see if it'll write. Okay, so it says it wrote it successfully. So we saved it and then it reread. And there is the new VIN that we just changed. So that's the VIN it read. So we were able to change the VIN number successfully. Now we will put the chip back on the board, and that should be it. Okay, so I want to just blank everything out, start from fresh, and just reread it this way, even though we didn't read it again. So you go here and pick Eeprom. The manufacturer, you're gonna go with ST for this one, and then it's the 95320. There's a 320-R-V-W. I use just the one, the basic one. Hit OK. And we'll hit read. And there we go. Now it's populated again. And there's that same modified VIN. So just to show you guys the path and the route, the chip, and that it did change it. Okay, we've got the chip back on the board. It's facing the right way. All the legs got good contact. So now we'll go back, kind of just hang it, plug it in the car before capping it back off and see if it works. As you last saw, we put this computer in the vehicle. We did a scan with the Autel, and it pulled up the correct VIN as we have, changed it in the Eeprom. But past that, it still would not start the vehicle, and it still had some of those trouble codes related to the basically kind of immobilizer issue. So I've got an idea. I'm gonna try. I wanted to see if I can read the computer on the bench with the scanner, because at this point I had brought the vehicle back to the customer, telling them that I wasn't able to get this fully operational, but that I was gonna research a little bit. So I had him just bring both computers down. And before I go ahead and continue, I just want to make sure that they're up and operational and that the chip and everything is soldered on there good. The reason why is because sometimes if you don't get the Eeprom to sit well and make good contact, it'll act as if computer's dead because it can't pull any of the information off of that. And so I did experience that when I did that. I had no comm with it in the car, so I had to basically kind of reflow it, make sure it was sitting well. And so since I don't have the car, to plug it in the car and scan the vehicle. I'm doing it here on the bench, so I had to figure out the pinouts and the setup and everything, but I finally got it to scan. And obviously it's going to bring up a bunch of codes since it's not installed, but the ones that I want to see if I can get rid of is 1610 lock mode, 1612. Also, those are the two that I want to try to get rid of. Okay, so we've got both computers here. Like I said earlier, this is original. That one's opened up now. Here is the donor. We're going to take this Eeprom off, copy all of that info, put it into this Eeprom, which I've put a yellow dot on, so hopefully we don't get anything mixed up. There's a dot here also, so we'll go ahead, I'm going to pull this Eeprom first, and then we'll do this one, and we'll get a shot of that. Okay, so this is the original Eeprom. We're gonna read and save this information. Okay, so after transferring and copying the information onto this Eeprom, and installing it now in the car, we'll take a look and see if it will crank. Again, remember, well, I didn't show on camera, but the VIN had transferred last time, but it still wouldn't start the vehicle, which is why now we transferred everything. Okay, hopefully you caught that. It kind of stalled out, but meaning that it definitely combusted, means we're getting both fuel and spark, which before immobilizer issues will cut one of the two. So that right there tells me immobilizer has been taken care of and has been transferred over. Okay, so this one starts up, runs, and definitely a difference from just changing the VIN, which didn't work, compared to now transferring the whole Eeprom over. Okay, so obviously we just saw it crank up, start, run, idle, which means our immobilizer stuff is taken care of. Check engine light was on. Again, I don't think I've ever really explained the situation with this car, so it's from another shop, and then their customer, basically, I was told that their customer has just insisted that he wants a different computer in there to try to rectify whatever's going on. Naturally, not sure if you even saw, there is a spaghetti mess with the wire harness, but this vehicle here at my shop is not here for any type of diagnosis. We are just asked to see if we can do the computer. So I decided to scan it just to see what the check engine light was on for with this cloned computer. And let me show you what I found out. So I am connected. There's the LED light. going to power it up. And I'll start the scanner. I'll do a fresh new read, so we'll identify the vehicle. Nissan. And I want you to look and see what this is going to pull up. So we'll go ahead and read the VIN. And 7772. We have 9741. I'll show you again just to prove out. There's the computer. This is starting running immobilizer fine with an incorrect VIN number. This Nissan deal, I guess, does not care about the VIN number, what VIN number it has in the engine computer, in order to let the car run or not. It has nothing to do with it. And so I guess it kind of makes sense as to why, when I just changed the VIN number originally in the used computer, I still got nothing. It just would crank and be locked out with the immobilizer issue. But this VIN number, this different VIN number, came from the read that we got from the computer that it came in with. So we have cloned that computer's info, obviously, like I showed and told you. And I never did look at the VIN number because I never opened it in the hex editor. I just saved it in the Autel and then transferred over. But if I look at it, that's where that VIN number comes. So I'll show you here. So let me go back to home. And I'll pull up that file. Should be all the way at the bottom. So there's the Eeprom Nissan original. We open it up, and the VIN is in the, let's see, which one was it? I think 1C. Oh, okay, there we go. And there's that 7772. So this file that I saved was from the original computer that it came in running with. That has a different VIN number in it, but must have the correct Eeprom information that it's needed to get it to run. That is crazy and unexpected. Again, I'm not a specialist with Nissan, and this is me just trying it, but I am learning that the VIN number, and putting this out for you guys, the VIN number, I guess, does not matter. It's the rest of the Eeprom information that was needed to get the car cranking and running. So let's see. Okay, one thing I did want to try again is, so actually we'll continue going into the vehicle. Hit yes. Net. Okay. This is what I tried originally in the beginning, but I forgot that my subscription had expired, and so I went ahead and paid to renew it. And so I'm curious to see if the not supported message was due to my subscription being expired, or it truly is something that it cannot do and truly does not support. So let's try this here. Okay, so there we go. That that would have gone into tell me it wasn't supported before. That tells me that it looks like we can do it with the Autel if you are current with your subscription. Okay, so you saw me start the procedure through there, where again in the beginning, when the tool was not current with the subscription, it wouldn't let me continue. Off camera, I ended up completing all those steps, and the vehicle starts up and runs again, which we already knew that we could do that. But that there tells me that if you've got tooling like this, you can go through the OBD with your your interface and perform the immobilizer procedure to get a used computer started and running on one of these Nissans. That there tells me that that's how the other computer was done, meaning the immobilizer work must have been done with a computer with a scanner alike, which doesn't do anything to the VIN number. You saw me also go through the procedure of changing the VIN number with the tooling, and then it said that it accepted it, which now we can actually check it. I know we're still listed as that, but that's what I started the session with. So let's back out. Let me power this up. And let's completely back out of it. And again, we'll start a new session. This is where we will read the VIN, and I guess we can see what we pull up. Okay, so we've successfully changed the VIN through the tooling when we have a current subscription, and we have also successfully found out that we can do a used computer and synchronize the immobilizer with the computer with tooling through OBD, as long as you're current, or if your tooling doesn't require you to be current. It is possible to be done through OBD also, which makes sense now that if I transferred all of that Eeprom over, which means that Eeprom had its immobilizer information that was synced and synchronized to this vehicle's rest of immobilizer system. It thought that it had that computer in here. So all of that, it's making sense now. So VIN number makes no difference. It's all about the synchronizing and matching the immobilizer information between the vehicle's separate immobilizer system with the engine computer's immobilizer system. Okay, first foremost, excuse the camera angle, but I'm trying to just get through this as quick as I can. I feel I've spent too much time on it already, but that's the one we cloned. The yellow dot. We know that has a correct VIN now and starts runs the car. This is the original one that it came in with. I've gone ahead, put the Eeprom back in, plugged it back into the car. Key is on. We'll do that. Read the VIN. And remember, this one ends in the 741. So that's what we're pulling up from that vehicle, or not vehicle, sorry, that computer. So I'm going to go ahead and correct that here. Let's see, where was that thing here? Control unit, engine. And And special functions. Then, okay, actually, it's this guy. Now I'm doing this just because I want it to have the correct VIN, and we know it has the correct immobilizer information synchronized. Okay, so this computer now also has the correct VIN, and obviously has the correct immobilizer information in it. Okay, so now that both computers are good, I noticed this option here when I was poking around. Again, the other day it was not possible. It said it was not supported, but that was when I was not current in my subscription with the tool. I want to see if it's something that's possible, because for future reference, I'm curious if this is a way that you can do it. So instead of going through the NAT and then going through learning the key and immobilizer stuff into the new used computer, which it's quite a few steps if you're trying to do a key, I'm wondering if this will just back up everything immobilizer wise, and I guess VIN, and then transfer it over into a second used one where you won't have to walk through that key learning deal. I hope to not get myself in a situation where I mess up the computers, but I think I want to still try it. So let's see. So this function is used when replacing or reprogramming the CPU. Function saves the data that's stored in the CPU. That has been completed. Run the data writing routine. Okay. So I'm gonna power off. Wait a few seconds. And then I'm gonna move this one, replace this with that, and try to relearn it. So I'm gonna have to put you guys down, but let's see. Okay, got the original one unplugged. Putting the one we cloned in. And we know we have the correct information. So it should start run and drive, but I just want to see if the tooling can go through the process. So the other one's swapped out. We'll key it up. And the tablet should have that info stored in it automatically. Placing, okay. Proceed with writing. Yes. Okay, so again, another procedure that when the tool was not current, was not possible. It would just state that it's not supported, and it makes you think that it's just something that it can't do on a Nissan of this year, even though the option is there. But it's all about being current with the tooling, and it went ahead and wrote it into the computer. So now I bet you and guarantee that that is probably one of the ways to do it with a used one, transferring over so you don't have to go through the steps of doing the key learning deal. So that's pretty cool to know that option is there as well. Let's see, just make sure. Okay, so we are running. So that again seems to have worked, even though we know we had the correct data in there, but we know we didn't transfer some incorrect and we know that we did transfer because this walked us through that procedure. Okay guys, so we are completely done with the job that we were asked to do on this vehicle, which was to get the used computer working or programmed as they wanted. For me, this was a long-winded, whirlwind type of learning experience. And so, first things first, I would never have been put in this situation if my tooling that I was using was current in its subscription, which would then allow me to do all those procedures. But the fact that it wasn't, it actually gave me the opportunity to learn that you can get this job done with simple Eeprom work. Or I call it simple Eeprom work because it's something that can be done with inexpensive tooling. An Eeprom reader you can get for not that much of a expense, and it can do the job. All it needs to do is pull the info from the Eeprom, copy it, and transfer it over. Or simply, you could change over the Eeprom, but in this case, they still needed two computers, or I wanted to make two computers work so that I can prove out that the program was done to both. So if you don't have, the higher end scanners that let you do this, you can get away with doing it with Eeprom. Now, for the ones that do have some of these scanners, you see that this will let you basically learn the immobilizer into the used computer by learning the keys and so on and so forth. With that procedure, it won't change the VIN number, but the VIN number does not matter in this situation. But there is an additional step where you can go through with the tooling and change the VIN number to make everything correct. Or you can go through that, copy the whole data, hold it in the tablet, change computers, and then shoot it back in to the second used computer that you're using, and you won't have to do the extra work of learning the keys, but you still, I'm assuming, would have to change the VIN, but actually, I'm wondering if it changes the VIN over with the one that it backed up the data with. That's something that I would not know because I had already changed the VINs in there. So something to keep in mind. There's a couple different options if you have a higher end tooling. And then if you don't, it's a job that can be done with Eeprom work. And so for me, definitely a learning experience. I spent some extra time going through some of those extra steps to be able to clarify so that I can show you guys what can be done, both ways. So I know I sort of enjoyed this one. It's a little bit, again, long-winded. It was a learning experience. You guys got to see my intrigued children that were along the way with me and wanted to partake in some of this. But thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. And I'll just continue, hopefully bringing on some more of this type of information and content to you guys. And other than that, customer will be called and told and shown and proved that he's got two computers that start, run, and drive this vehicle. So thank you for watching, and that's all.